Record, and we want to have captions too. Here we go. All right. Cats completely threw me off. I'm blaming them. Okay, so close your eyes. Take a nice deep breath. And we're going to focus on projecting our collective energy out until around March or April of 2025. And you're anywhere in America. Visualize feeling the fresh air, hearing the birds singing, seeing people smiling, because everything went perfectly well for the most beneficial outcome for the United States and the world regarding this presidential election. So the secret is not to merely see the outcome, but to feel it, which is why the music's playing too. We're going to employ all of the senses. Picture yourself standing, fully engaged in the precise situation you wish to manifest. Don't view it even as a future event, but rather believe that it's real right now. You're looking around and everything is good. The pressure is off. The worry is gone. You're centered, completely in your power. There's no more fear, worry, or anything else. Take a nice deep breath and release this energy into the world to be absorbed and expand. When you're ready, open your eyes and come back into this now moment. So I'm open for suggestions. So if anybody has any suggestions about that kind of an opening, I just feel like there has been so much angst and anxiety and anger and hatred put out into the world around this election. And I'm not interested in fighting with anybody, no matter what their political beliefs are. I just want to see peace in this world. And I feel like as a group, we are powerful beings, and the more of that kind of energy that we can put out into the world, the better off we'll all be. So, but I am open to suggestions or comments about the meditation or the visualization.
Well, I thought it was really good, Linda. And when you said visualize what we want to be doing a year from now, that creating along with God came into my mind.
Yes.
I didn't really have anything specific that I want to do in the dream, but and maybe that could be part of the meditation, that we are actually more aware that we are. I mean, it's the same thing we're studying today, creating with God. And
Yes.
yeah, and so whatever happens with the election is fine, whatever. It doesn't matter. Not really.
Yeah. We're just making it neutral, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for that, Kathleen. And that's why I'm trying to leave like a little space in between my talking so you can really picture yourself there as being here, if that makes sense. Anybody else have any comments or questions or suggestions before we move on to our reading today? Awesome. All right. So I want to thank you for letting me work this experiment with y'all. So we are reading the cause of separation in chapter 2, which is the right defense and release from fear. How appropriate is that? And I'm going to start with, there were a couple of things here. Yeah, I'm going to start with paragraph 12 and 13, where he says, the kingdom of God, in its original connotation, included both the proper creation of the Son of God and the proper creation by the Son in his right mind. The latter required the endowment of the Son of God, of the Son by God with free will, because all loving creation is freely given. Nothing in either of these statements implies any sort of levels, or in fact, anything except one continuous line of creation in which all aspects are of the same order. When the lies of the serpent were introduced, they were called lies because they were not true. When man listened, all he heard was untruth. You do not have to continue to believe what is not true unless you choose to do so. All of your miscreations can disappear in the well known twinkling of an eye because they are a visual misperception. Your spiritual eye can sleep, but remember, a sleeping eye can still see. And it was funny because when I read this, um, just before I reread this morning, um, I got a memory of a picture that's a version of the Serenity Prayer that I thought was so appropriate, where it says, God grant me the serenity to accept the people I cannot change. And I put in parentheses, including my past selves, can't change the past, the courage to change the one I can, and the wisdom to know that it's me. So, just another reminder that anything that I think I'm seeing in the world that is upsetting at all is because I'm misperceiving it and I'm projecting my own upset out into the world. Again, another reason why I felt like this visualization that we're going to start doing is also appropriate. Um, let's put out into the world what we would like to see and feel. So that's where I'm starting us off at. Who else would like to share?
Can you put that uh, form of prayer or that
The visualization?
in the WhatsApp? Yeah.
Yeah, certainly.
No, not the visualization. The what you just read. The give
Oh,
grant me the serenity.
serenity prayer?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, the original serenity prayer is still beautiful, but it's
I like
still,
this. I
yeah,
like
it's
this
still
better.
separation. It still,
Right.
affirms there is separation. There are people outside of me, and that's just
Yeah.
not true. So, um, yeah, we are all one creation.
Maybe we could do like we do the daily lesson insights. We could do you could combine that with the meditation every day.
We could. Yeah,
Okay.
because I could put that in there. I can put that in our WhatsApp group and our Facebook group
Yeah,
chat. Wow.
I would like that. I don't know if
Yeah,
everybody else would. Okay, thanks.
happy to share it. Plus, you'll have it in this recording, hopefully. I'm a little concerned about the copyright infringement using Bill Withers' song, but we'll see. We'll see if Facebook tags it and doesn't let it go. I'll edit it out if he does. If Facebook does. So anyway, but we're just going to hold that we're so obscure that it's not going to be a big deal. And I can just like not include that at the beginning of our recorded part, although I feel like it is helpful for all of us to do it. But anyway, anybody else have any questions, concerns, thoughts about our reading? And it is so good to see you, Derwin. I'm so glad to have you back. Good to have Diane here too. Been a
Yeah,
little.
I was about to type, but then you called out my name. So I'm like, let me just say hello to all beautiful light workers immediately. And yes, I have been missing the team, you guys a lot, but work called for some other duties on Tuesdays. Um, I did let Linda know that I'm well and hopefully coming soon back. And that is today, right on time to experience as well the meditation. So that's great. And I was just typing in for you, Linda. Um, and I think it's correct. So if you are concerned about the song for YouTube and you just put in the description text, I do not own the rights of this song. This song is blah, blah, blah. Then that is fine.
Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate that. Bill Withers is one of my faves. I mean, he wrote the song "Lean on Me," which is the name of my business. So he's my dude. Well, the other thing that I had from the very beginning of this reading was I was having a hard time understanding the "be as thou wast wont to be." I'm like, excuse me. So I just looked up, in the dictionary, and basically what it's saying here is be as you were accustomed to be and see as you were accustomed to see. So we're just be who you are. Like, do you, boo? It's all good because we are one and we are all a thought in the mind of God, created by divine perfection. So, yeah. Anybody else?
I'll go. This,
Okay.
I mean, this whole section is so great at talking about what happened and what we really are. It's just like so much of it. I've underlined so much of it. And like in paragraph 3, where it says that last line, this emptiness provides the screen for the misuse of projection. So we actually made an empty shell and then we put a bunch of stuff in it, misusing our God-given ability to create. And then number 4, the Garden of Eden was really a mental state of complete need lack. That just sounds so nice. Even in the literal account, it's noteworthy that the pre-separation state was essentially one in which man needed nothing. And then we were creating along with God. And it says it created sons a lot in here. I always think God created one son, Christ, but in here it says created several sons. So I don't know about that, but and then number 5, extension or projection. Well, extension, it becomes the word extension further on in the book. this type of projection, the good kind. Extension, as defined, this refers to the verb as a fundamental attribute of God, which he also gave his son. In the creation, God projected his creative ability out of himself toward the sons whom he created, and also imbued them with the same loving will to create. And then we got confused. And we were created perfect. Anyway, and then the next page, number 11, these related distortions present a picture of what actually occurred in the separation. None of this existed before, nor does it actually exist now. The sonship was created as a natural grand division or projecting outward of God. That's why everything which he created is like him. Projection as undertaken by God was very similar to the kind of inner radiance which the children of the Father inherit from him. I just love that. So I underlined that a couple times. That's what we have inside ourselves, is that incredible inner radiance. Yummy. Free will, radiance, ability to create. And then in 16, all fear is ultimately reducible to the basic misperception that you have the ability to usurp the power of God. It's again emphasized that you neither can nor have been able to do this. In this statement lies the real justification for your escape from fear. We can't usurp the power of God. So I don't know, there's just a lot of really comforting things in this section to me.
Yeah, I loved in that same paragraph at the very end where he says your own errors never really occurred. Your
Right.
own errors never really occurred.
That's what I was just going to read.
Ah,
Last part. That last part. And it's at the very end, it says, this is brought about by your acceptance of the atonement, the escape from fear. When you accept the atonement, which places you in a position to realize that your own errors never, I think we so forget that. Don't we forget that it never happened, that it's just something we think we have to deal with constantly or in the world, and we do not. It's not there. It's not a part of us. It's not who we are. It does not involve us. We are not in that, but unless we choose to be and make that choice. I just want to tell you a little aside. I just moved, well, not just, I've been in my little apartment for a few months now, ever since my husband passed and I moved. So I put some photographs around my little place. I don't have a lot of shelf space and stuff yet, but I did come across two young baby pictures. Not really baby, but the one photo is me at about 18 months to 2. And back then in New York, I don't know if it occurred in other places, but my parents took me to this huge park in New York City called Van Cortlandt Park. It's in the northern part of Manhattan, or maybe even in the Bronx. I'm not sure. Anyway, there would be pony rides. So there I am, I think barely 2. I'm on this pony, this tiny little baby on this pony. And they, then I guess they take pictures, you pay for the pictures or whatever. So then there's another picture, a studio picture of me at about the same age. And I have that on my windowsill in my bedroom. And it has been such a blessing to me because I talk to this little dumpling just about every day, where for a long time, I guess I had forgotten about my inner child. I had kind of, thought that I dealt with it and did the Yulin, exercises and things like that. But this has helped me so much to stay in touch with this innocent, sweet, precious little being that I am or was, a part of me. And it's helped me a lot. It's really, really, He really helped me a lot. It was just a little aside that I wanted to share with you because I haven't seen those pictures in a long time. And here I moved. We dug up a bunch of stuff from the storage unit, that I had not seen in years and years. And so now I have these precious little pictures of myself. And I do think about her. I do talk to her. I do, relate to her with love and with patience and with joy because I know some of the experiences that she had all those years ago. And it's helped me. It's truly, truly helped me. So I just wanted to mention that to you. I don't know if it kind of goes along with, what we're doing today, but just thought
Well, it is remembering our innocence.
it is, yes. That's exactly. She was just this happy, very, very happy, smiling little dumpling. And she was, I know, the apple of my parents' eye in a lot of ways. And so I remember those things when I see those pictures of her. Yeah. But I feel this section is wonderful. It's very informative and revealing and shedding a lot of light on places where we didn't maybe have long and good and detailed explanations of how things happened and what affected the rest of humanity and our lives together. But I it helped me a lot.
Thank
So
you.
thanks.
Kathleen, did you have anything else you wanted to share?
Oh, well, it's just so much good news in here. It just keeps, I can't remember how far we're supposed to read, but on page 68, the proper use of denial. Did we read that for this week or not?
No, not yet.
Okay. All right.
You
It's
can
kept-
talk about it if you want to, though.
Oh, well, it's just that first paragraph in the middle. Human understanding will inevitably value wrongly, and by endowing all human thoughts with equal power, will inevitably destroy peace. That's why the Bible speaks of the peace of God, which passeth human understanding. This peace is totally incapable of being shaken by human errors of any kind. And that just seems like if I can get to peace during the day, and if I am feeling afraid, talk to my inside kid, like you're talking about, Carol, because it does seem like there's so many errors that we were taught that, and then maybe doing some spiritual bypassing by trying my ego self, trying really hard to be a good spiritual student, and and then becoming afraid that I'm not doing it right, and just like going back to peace. Peace.
Yeah. Serenity now.
Surrender. Yes, surrender and serenity.
Thanks, Kathleen. Tamara.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Linda. So I was reading, I have a question, but I wanted to read these two paragraphs, paragraph 16 and 17. It says, all fear is ultimately reducible to the basic misperception that you have the ability to usurp the power of God. It is again emphasized that you neither can nor have been able to do this. In this statement lies the real justification for your escape from fear. This is brought about by your acceptance of the atonement, which places you in a position to realize that your own errors never really occurred. When the deep sleep fell upon Adam, he was then in a condition to experience nightmares, precisely because he was sleeping. If a light is suddenly turned on while someone is dreaming and the content of his dream is fearful, he is initially likely to interpret the light itself as part of the content of his own dream. However, as soon as he awakens, the light is correctly perceived as the release from the dream, which is no longer accorded reality. I would like to conclude this with this biblical injunction, go and do thou likewise. Now, there's a couple of footnotes, which I'm not going to read, but my question, and this is becoming more and more a heart truth for me. But, this question, I'm sure it's every student of the course has asked this question. And I remember a long time ago, I asked Carol this too, Carol Howe, and she said, well, it's not how it happened then. Why is it happening now? Like, answer that question. And my thing is, if we are in the same category, there's no hierarchy as God, and we have all our needs met, where did this idea of serpent or otherism or anything come from for us to even have this experience? And why would we do that? Like, it makes no sense from any level, unless like we look at it from the Hinduism, where it's like it's a play of God. Because I even remember Bill Free, asking Rupert Spira, or making a comment, and Rupert Spira said something, the guy from non-dualism, he said, are you saying like God, because he said something like God doesn't know anything about this world. He said, are you saying that God doesn't know everything? Kind of like, because so I guess I am just still a little bit not satisfied with the understanding that we decided to do our own thing when we had everything and we were God. Any comments would be welcome. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, to me, the beginning of 14, when he talks about the one translation of the fall, a view emphasized by Mary Baker Eddy and worthy of note is a deep sleep fell upon Adam. While the Bible seems to regard this sleep as a kind of anesthetic utilized for the protection of Adam during the creation of Eve, when supposedly God took a rib from Adam, Mrs. Eddy was correct in emphasizing that nowhere is there any reference made to his waking up. So that serpent was created in the dream, which can become a nightmare. It is, our dreams are really what we make of them. They can be influenced by all different things, but yeah,
so that even this dream that you're talking about with the election and everything, for some people can still seem heavenly, even though it looks crazy making to others, because they don't give value or energy to the things that they see with the eyes, that they really,
Yeah, because this is still a part of the dream. We haven't woke up. There are moments, I know there are moments when I feel like I'm awake and I can see that none of this is real and it's all a projection of my mind, and I've created every character and all of the ways that I am delighted or upset by every single person and situation. But I don't always grasp that. There's still parts of me that forgets, and still parts of me that doesn't want to take that deep level of radical responsibility for all the heartache and hurt in this world. So
Rupert Spira likens it to like an actor like John Smith taking, for example, the role of King Lear, and then completely, getting absolved in the play, and so completely forgetting that he's John Smith, actually. So, I don't know. It's kind of crazy making, though, when you think about it.
Yeah,
like
it is.
the pain, the suffering, the bombing, the strife, the wars, oh God, why would we choose this? This is crazy.
Yeah.
Even in a dream, why would we choose it? Like,
just part of the playground, and dreams don't make sense most of the time. I mean, at least mine don't.
Mine don't either.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you
Yeah.
very much.
Thanks, Samira.
Mhm.
Nancy Gale and then Carla.
Um, uh, 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 what comes to my mind is repeatedly, or keeps every once in a while, is somewhere in the course it says it's like Jesus wrote it or whatever, gave it to us for our use. I'm going to just use these words, to where we are mentally or wherever we are in our my thinking. It's written for all of us, for all of us, each individually or whatever state or phase or whatever we are, mentally or whatever. And that's also, and I don't remember if it's in the course or not, but I keep thinking, I think it is, that it's like being in two worlds at the same time. We have one foot in each. We still have where we are really, but then we have one foot in this world. Like we're in both at the same time. And and so that is very helpful to me to remember that. Just remembering truths,
Yeah.
is what's helps me. Simple things like that is the only way otherwise I get totally
Yeah. Me too.
confused.
And sometimes I can think about it like, okay, so it doesn't seem to make sense and it doesn't seem to make me happy, but I also can relate it a little bit to the experience of my mother's dementia, in that she would say things that I knew weren't true, but her brain was just making a connection that made sense. So I see that as kind of our vision in this dream sometimes, that what we're doing is we see things and then we're like making up the story about what it's about based on our experiences and our memories. And even if it's crazy or something awful, we're making up that story so that what we saw made sense. And again, it's about, do you want to be right or do you want to be happy?
We have to have some while we're still in this world, we have to have something in order to operate here. And so
Doesn't
that's
it
how.
say somewhere in the book, in the old book, I remember us reading, like the ego has impeccable logic. It just doesn't have reason, right? Like,
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
mm.
Thanks, Amir.
Absolutely. Yeah, thank you both. Carla.
Okay. Sometimes I get too brought too much, so I'm gonna ask for help. So in this reading, it really showed me a projection in paragraph 5. Projection is defined above. This refers to the verb is a fundamental attribute of God, which he also gave to his son. I used to think projection was wrong, was bad, because that's what we're doing. We're projecting what the meaning of this is, the meaning of that is. We're seeing as bad and wrong. And what I see in reading this is that we've given that the meaning too. And so what's very interesting to me is that I'll speak for myself, when I have an insight, I go, oh, this is truth. I know it. It's helpful in a sense that I'm seeing more clearly. But can we actually see the whole truth all at once? no, we have to go to in pieces. We have to go, it's taken us maybe millennia. I don't know how long to get here, right? Not the body, but the soul, the essence of who we are. So, and I know, and I've been caught in this, and ego wants to take it. I realize this, that I've been miscreating, that I've been doing all this stuff. And I was like, then ego wants to take it to join it to it. It's that, oh, it's bad, it's wrong, oh, look what you've done, and all this stuff. And I'm like, no, it's just an experience we had. And I'm willing to let go, because what is the past? The past is just an opportunity to learn something that already happened. It's not something to bring us down. It's not something to, we forgot to laugh. Laugh. I'm so serious. I don't watch like fun movies anymore because they're kind of, I've given that the meaning. So what I'm getting to, what I'm trying to get to is I'm willing to look at meanings I have made, even though they seem helpful, even though it seems like I was much more beneficial than the old meaning, whatever. To look again, to be grateful, even for the past false meanings I attached to, because would I really want to let go of any of that I experienced? No, because I am where I am right now in my level of awareness. And if I let go of anything from the past, if I want anything from the past to be different, make it wrong, whatever that stuff, then I'm making me wrong. And I'm not loving myself, which is what I hear from Carol is you're learning to love yourself. That's why I really, the picture of me as a baby, that's when I really started to love myself, because I saw the innocence, I saw the sweetness. And you know what? Maybe I have made a lot of errors and poor choices. I'm not loving choices even. I'm still that innocent, sweet soul. And sure, I'm willing to bring it up to the light, because nothing is healed in the darkness. Everything is healed in the light. Because what is light? Light is love. Love is the healer, right? So I'm willing to bring it up, because stuff that I don't want to stop seem to say, I'm willing to go, okay, and laugh. I made some silly choices. Silly me, not bad me, not wrong me. Nothing like that. And that's what this section is saying, that we, no matter what we think we've done, we're as we were created. We can never change that. I wrote something like, it's not really learning, it's remembering, but we're unlearning stuff that we thought was real. I remember years ago, I was saying like, God, see this suffering, whatever it is, see this way I feel, whatever's happening, it seems so real. And I was told, that's because you believe it's real. You, that's how you're creating. I mean, there weren't words, but I'm gonna put in words. That's how we created it. But we cannot change God. We cannot change the true self. We cannot change the essence of what we truly are. We just are in this body to learn, to remember, to unlearn. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful for what seems like suffering, because I don't learn from the same, from joy, from pleasant things. I learn the most from the unpleasantness, because I am not interested in continuing that anymore. So I'm grateful, even for those experiences, because they've all brought me to where I am now, here. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Carla. We're with you. Mary Lee.
I know I am a little behind in the readings, so if you covered this last week or something, then, but my question is on the, just the paragraph there, 14.
Mhm.
I just wanna read it in the way that you folks. Well, that didn't come out quite right with what I'm not getting is Mrs. Eddy was correct in emphasizing that nowhere is there any reference made to his waking up. While Christian Science is clearly incomplete, this point is much in its favor. Have the previous readings been comparing with, because I really don't know what that means there.
No, I think just because, well, Mary Baker Eddy was the founder of the Christian Science.
Yeah.
And I think all he's saying here is that she mentioned that, nowhere in the Bible does it say that Adam woke up.
Mhm.
And I think all he's saying here is that she's correct in that, but he's not pushing Christian Science, and he's not, I don't know, he's not saying that the Christian Science way is complete in his understanding of the world. Does that make sense? Like Jesus is going, it's not the whole picture. Yes. Yes, it says that Adam fell asleep, and nowhere does it mention that Adam woke up, but it's not the whole picture.
Yeah, I've wondered, and will this be covered, I'm sure, as we go forward, but is this talking about original sin or the belief of original sin? Is that, and in that we think that, but that's the part of us that isn't woke up, that we are not.
Yeah, it absolutely, I feel like it could be referring to original sin, because the original sin would have been them eating from the fruit of the tree of good and evil, or the tree of knowledge, depending on what you're reading. And none of that happened if Adam is still sleeping. It's just part of the dream. So in that, you know, if you believe that Adam is still asleep and we are all still asleep as sons and daughters of Adam, but just still being in the mind of God is a thought in the mind of God, there is no original sin because that happened in the dream, not in truth. It's just a false, a lie that we tell ourselves. Not everybody, but a lot of religious people believe that we are born from original sin.
Mhm.
Does that help at all, Mary Lee?
Just lots of questions.
Yeah, I'm
And
glad
so-
you asked questions.
So
What other
I'm listening more than I'm able to contribute.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. Kathleen, did you have something to say toward what Mary Lee was sharing?
Well, Grace has her hand up.
Yeah. Grace, did you have something to say towards what Mary Lee was sharing?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Yeah, go
I'm with you on that. There's a lot of stuff I don't understand about so many things, and apparently we already know the answers, and so the goal is to clear the way for those answers to come through, to open ourselves up to receiving that inner knowledge. But anyway, this is Mary Baker Eddy, 600 pages of her. I'm reading. It's called The Christian Healer. And I'm halfway through. I've been reading it nonstop, but I know Christian Science is before the Course in Miracles. And she only had the Bible, but she studied the Bible and knew it well and turned to it every minute of the day. She repeated to herself things that she'd read in the Bible till she understood them. What's phenomenal about this lady, and it's a book full of the healings. She brought people back from the dead. And that's why I'm so interested in her. How the heck did she do that? You know, what's going on here? So I decided I'm going to go through this book and see what I pick up from it. But I think that is speaking to me just about as much as anything, that she could drive past somebody in her carriage in the park and that person would be healed. I mean, it just blows me away. She would be healing people multiple times a day. She only had to look at them. So that's what I'm exploring. Yeah. Mary Lee, I don't understand nothing either. Nothing. And sometimes I get so confused. But there's a few things that come through. One is the love that I can feel for everybody, for you guys. I can feel your love coming back. And well, what's wrong with that? That's a better choice for me than other choices. And just sticking with it. Mary Baker says it's not blind faith, it's scientific fact. And that's what I'm working on at the moment. So she did what Jesus did, brought people back from the dead, and it's based on scientific facts. So I'm giving my mind a lesson in science at the moment. Thanks, everybody. And hey, hello, Derwin. Not to mention Mary Lee, I'm so glad to see you back. And don't run away like that from us again. It's not fair.
That's an illusion, but no, I will come up more often.
Thank you, Grace. Thank you, Derwin. Kathleen.
Well, when I think about the thing about what does God know us or not, I think about, I don't know, it was Robert Perry, somebody saying that God is like a mom that sends her kids out to play and then doesn't hover over them and stare at them and, you know, just kind of doesn't pay any attention to our dream much because it's our dream. And why would God want anything to do with it? God knows of us and wants us back. And it says in here is dependent on us. I can't find the line, but God created us children and is dependent on us, wants us to come home. So hopefully we can make this everything disappear after a while if we all become enlightened enough about what's really going on in terms of how we're making up fear all the time. And then I think on page 65, number 6, those are like the original sins. Whenever projection in its inappropriate sense is utilized, where you project something you don't like about yourself out, it always implies some emptiness or lack of everything must exist, and that it is within your ability to put your own ideas there instead of the truth. If you'll consider carefully what this entails, the following become apparent. First, the assumptions implicit that what God has created can be changed by your own mind. That is an original sin in my mind. Second, the concept has intruded that what is perfect can be rendered imperfect. Another original sin. Third, the belief has arisen and is tolerated that you can distort the creations of God, including yourself. Another big mistake. And fourth, the idea has entered that since you can create yourself, the direction of your own creation is up to you. These related distortions represent a picture of what actually occurred in the separation. None of this existed before, nor does it actually exist now. The sonship was created as a natural grand division or projecting outward of God. That's why everything which he created is like him. Projection as undertaken by God was very similar to the kind of inner radiance which the children of the Father inherit from him, which I read before. But and then that little footnote on page 64, number 30, talks about the two kinds of projection, and that later in the course, the good kind is called extension. And that word projection only refers to the bad kind of projection, where you take stuff you don't like about yourself and throw it out onto somebody else. But extension is what Jesus wants us to do all the time in the holy instant. And every time we meet somebody, you extend love to them. And then I just heard Robert Perry say another thing Jesus wants us to do is really listen to each other as if we're speaking to ourselves, and listen for hidden meanings. And in one of the cameos, he's talking about that with Bill. Bill makes some error in the way he's talking. And Jesus says, well, that error is actually indicating something about what you really are thinking. So that, just like when I was listening to you guys today, I'm like, okay, that's me talking to myself. And there's higher meanings involved in what everyone is saying. I don't know whether I can do it all the time, but it's really intriguing. So like the holy instant where you go out in public and you smile at everyone or you interact with everyone. And then I guess we'd call it holy listening, where you're actually thinking that you're hearing yourself speak and you're listening for higher truths. And then there's other things that Jesus wants us to do all the time, but those two came to my mind. Anyway, thanks.
Thank you, Kathleen. Paula, and then we're going to wrap up because it's almost 5 till.
Okay. I was just saying, I was thinking when I heard the original sin thing, it brought me back to my good old Catholic days when I was born into sin. I was born into sin. And if I am born into sin, then how can I be incredibly innocent? And Jesus says that we are innocent. So I'm always innocent. And I needed to be baptized. And if I wasn't baptized, oh my God, I was going to go to hell.
Yeah.
And I remember the times when I didn't go to church on Sunday. Oh my God, if I died right then, I'd go to hell. How can you be innocent with all that crap? So original sin, I don't agree with it. Maybe I agree with it. I came into the world and I wasn't awake. And my goal is to awaken.
Yeah.
It's gentler for me because I see the world through an unworthiness filter, and I am really looking for seeing the world through an innocent filter. That's all I got.
Amen. Thanks, Paula. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for understanding. I have to go because
I know. I just want to say what she said was the remembering. What she said was perfect. Right. We came into this world asleep, and our purpose is to wake up.
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay, so lesson 93, today's lesson, light and joy and peace abide in me. Paragraph 7, I'm just going to read that paragraph quickly and then head out. Salvation requires the acceptance of but one thought. You are as God created you, not what you made of yourself. Whatever evil you may think you did, you are as God created you. Whatever mistakes you made, the truth about you is unchanged. Creation is eternal and unalterable. Your sinlessness is guaranteed by God. You are and will forever be exactly as you were created. Light and joy and peace abide in you because God put them there. Thank you, everybody. See you
Thank
next
you. Love you.
Thank you, everybody.
guys.
Love you all.
Thank you.
week.